Good morning. Thank you for joining me again for another devotional. We're looking at Hebrews chapter 11, and today we're going to look at verse 23. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hidden 3 months by his parents because they saw he was a beautiful child and they were not afraid of the king's command. We've been looking at some examples from Hebrews chapter 11 of men and women of faith. Men and women who were willing to give up everything to walk that walk of faith and obedience, and how that should encourage us as we have our own walk, our own journey through this life. And it is also a journey of faith. And we see here that right at the outset of Moses' life, that faith was being exercised. And it was his parents that took that step of faith to hide Moses for 3 months. And you may recall the story that the Hebrew people had been multiplying, and there arose a Pharaoh in the land of Egypt who did not know Joseph. He didn't recall the good things that God had done for Egypt through Joseph and for the nations. And he was more concerned about the numbers, the ever-increasing numbers of the Hebrews. He felt threatened by that. And so one of the ways that he looked to remedy that was by instructing the midwives to kill any Hebrew males that are born, but to allow the daughters to live. The parents took a decision to defy that. It was a decision of faith, a decision of obedience. He says, by faith Moses, when he was born, was hidden 3 months by his parents because they saw he was a beautiful child. And I want to suggest to you this morning, it's not that Moses was more handsome, more beautiful baby than everyone else's baby. Of course not. What it most probably means is that they saw something in Moses which was special to God. That God had a special calling. He was beautiful. He was special to God. And we know, obviously in hindsight, we know that God indeed had a special calling upon Moses' life, a special purpose in God's plan of salvation history. He says, so that activated their faith. They needed to take a risk. And you know, sometimes faith involves risks. I'm reminded of a woman many years ago, back in the late 90s. I went out to Romania, and I remember hearing of a woman who used to take Bibles into Romania when it was under the communist regime, Ceausescu's regime. And I was just thinking about how, she would put these Bibles under a false floor. I believe it was in a caravan, if I'm not wrong. But just the risks that this woman was taking, because it was the right thing to do. There were risks of faith. And I'm sure that through those risks, many people were reached with the gospel. Many people were able to read the gospel, the good news, God's word, because she was willing to put her life on the line, if you want. And that's what's happening here. They were willing to defy the Pharaoh, to defy his command. They were willing to take risks. And I just wonder, in our own lives, are we willing to take those risks? When we know that it is of faith and of obedience, are we willing to take that step to put our own comfort, our own security on the line because of what God has said or what God is going to do? I just want to leave that question with you today. I know it's a challenging one, as always. But I want you to just consider what's being said. Again, it says, by faith Moses, when he was born, was hidden 3 months by his parents because they saw he was a beautiful child, and they were not afraid of the king's command. They didn't give in to fear. They gave themselves over to faith. They exercised that. And that is a part of the story of redemption, of Israel's redemption, because those parents took that step of obedience and faith. That would change the outcome It would change the destiny of a nation. And so, no pressure. May God bless you. Have a wonderful day.